Peace, Moors. Islam. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We're going live. What we're doing is Moorish Mondays. For those that don't know, we did this about 2 weeks ago. We're running it back. It's a Q&A session at the end. We're going to be interviewing the Sheik Molden Bey coming out of Texas. And he definitely dropped some keys, some jewels last time. And he's going to bring some information here. And you definitely want to tune in. You don't want to miss this. You definitely want to share this. I mean, I'm just going to keep it real. You want to like and share this online. Make sure everybody that you know tunes in, because we're coming with real information, real solutions, and clearing up some of the misconceptions and some of the sloppiness that's floating around, in the streets and online. Okay. And so it's very important that you tune into this and share this with your friends and family, because we're not playing around here. None of us are playing games. We're not, silly fools. We're not just online with it. We're all out here working in the real world. And so, like I said, this is definitely a discussion that you don't want to miss. And just stay tuned. Like I said, tag your friends and family. First and foremost, we give much praise to the Most High, Father of the universe, Allah. We give honors to our prophet, Noble Drew Ali, for bringing us our divine creed and nationality so that we may learn to love instead of hate. We always give honors to the forerunner, Marcus Mosiah Garvey, for preparing the way for our prophet. And we give honors to all the faithful Moors out there. Okay. We give honors to all the leadership, all the different bodies, whether you are a Nation of Islam, Nation of Gods and Earths, Nuwabian, whatever. Okay, we respect it all, Hebrew Israelites, everything. So we give it honors to all the faithful Moors out there, whether you consider yourself a Moor, Asiatic or not. And we also give honors to all the active Moors, everyone, whether you're in the temple or not. All right, this is about unification, and this whole channel, Moors in America, is about covering topics pertaining to us, Moorish Americans. You don't see this in the news. Obviously, they're not going to cover it the proper way. They act like we don't even exist. They don't talk about Moorish Americans on CNN or NBC or CNBC. Does that still come on? Or ABC, any of that stuff, right? They don't talk about it. And if they do cover something like that on your local news, it's going to be clowning what they call Moorish Americans, because they're going to take some of the people that are getting themselves jammed up. And I'm saying getting themselves jammed up legally, because they're doing things, they're getting, in trouble, and some people are catching prison sentences, and this is what they want to put out there as the face of Moorish Americans, but it's not accurate, and it's not the whole total and complete picture. And like I said, they don't even cover what's really going on. So that's what we're here. That's what we do. That's what Moors in America is. And so, like I said, this is Moorish Mondays, and we're going to get it popping. You don't want to go anywhere. I would just say, just stay tuned. We're going to play some Moorish music, and we're going to come on with the Sheik. So don't go anywhere. All right.
Man at arms, noble guardian, violate, we drop bombs, all posts for the safety of the people, especially the young. Creatures lurk here to eat you. Enforcement, secure another flag, that's important. We want it all back when we barely get a portion. Function as a brotherhood, noble sons, proud to treat our mothers good. Defend city threats, foreign and domestic. Knowledge of the heart, stay disciplined when tested. Highest of degrees, both mentally and physically. People be amazed when they witness in the wizardry. Al Jaffa, navigate with the fatwa, violate the prophet who shot you, scaling zero 0 to 9, through the 12 signs, no scrutiny. The wrong measurements to bring mutiny, tragedy. Meanwhile, back at the academy, training to uplift humanity, do away with the vanity, handle each other fivefold, even with eyes closed, for lessons from the chambers that only the wise know. Master teachers, peace to the Sharif and Khalifas, some of the most intelligent speakers in the peace seekers, in search of real love and true freedom, there when the people really need them. MOR Fezzes. Coming in formation. Well-rounded, great expounders, grounded. The master be believe you astounded, no flattery. Charged by Allah, no battery in the back. On our square, be clear the reality be in that. Ever try to harm the root of our family, we attack. Real militant, so diligent, killer ignorant. Occupy domains, preeminent, illustrious. Filled with Christians, how Jesus means justice. And more is a verb, and we have to be industrious. Teach students the science of jurisprudence. Put all the hate and slander aside, and we can do this. Some claim to know it all, but don't follow protocol. Some hide these skills while others choose to show it all. Violating any actions that I saw. We here to preserve the Constitution and bylaws. MOR Fezzes. Yeah.
All right, peace. I hope everybody could hear that. You know what? I want y'all to check something else out too, okay? Hang on 1 second. Let me get this screen share up for you. All right. All right, here we go. Yeah, check this out.
Original man, made crack talk and burning sands. You thought I'm like you, well, homie, did forget I'm the Moorish Americans, here to reclaim the land and chop your gold beast with the scimitar in my hand. I've been caught to habit since the barbary wars, killing Roman Christians on the Tripoli shores. Half pirate, half scientist. I rule with a iron fist. My domain is where the lions is. I send you back to the kids, broken chain. When you speak about the God, put respect on my name. The rap collar of the Damascus. Once I'm done fasting, I show you chocolate lights with blood baskets. I raise my glass and toast to my victory. Allah guarantees my foes defeat. 100,000 troops storming on your weak army. Andalusia, Spain is where you can find me. On the throne in my castle, behind a wall of big barrels. On my head the vest with the tassels. The return of the Asiatic. From Nubia to Machu Picchu. My blood yourself. Seek knowledge yourself.
All right, that's what's up. Peace to all the Moors out there. I hope y'all can hear this. Word. All right. All right. We about to get things up and popping. Like I said, we're gonna be speaking with the Sheik Molden Bey. And make sure you don't just click like or don't just watch this. Make sure you share this. I'm gonna play a couple more tunes and we're gonna get it started up and running. Just stay tuned. And while you're watching, make sure you click that share button.
Yeah. Thanks to the mind. Yeah. The schools wouldn't tell me nothing. I had to find out. So the next moms and pops, they was drugged out. Girl, I had a shirt of white Jesus. I asked who's that? Who's black? Grandpa was cherry, so how do that? Great grandma was Blackfoot. That's the mountain pack. Yeah, Wisconsin, where I found myself in the back. Trying to get my tools. I'm asking who's school. Who's supposed to fool my dudes? Paid with my group. With it so I'm reloading and show them what to do. Got the heart of the lion. I'm running the pack through. That's you, that's my soul, that's the glow. No juice, no mumble rap, straight up warrior, no
Islam.
Shalom, Sheik. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Hey, let me try and get my setup. Trying to get my setup right for us too.
All right, that's what's up. Oh, we live, man. We live. Yeah.
We all good. Yeah, appreciate that.
We live, man. We live.
All right, we might be able to take some calls later on. We just gonna build. If I get a chance, I'm gonna put the call-in number up in the chat room. Okay, so y'all just tune in. Like I said, everybody, make sure you click that share button. Okay. All right.
I'm gonna put the call-in number up in the chat room. Okay.
And we about to get things popping. So, Sheik, how do the Moors contact you? Because we have some people in Texas, they send emails. Some too shy, they ain't even trying to, do it like that. But they want to know, how they contact the temple. How do they build with the Moors in Texas?
Man, is that what they want to do? They want to do all of the above?
Man, they trying to build.
Okay.
They don't know what to do. They trying to build. Tell them what to do.
Praise Allah. I mean, hey, if you can't find the temple within your immediate local area where you are, I believe the last time we were on, you put the website on. Can you hear me all right? Can you hear me good?
Yeah, you good. We hear you.
All right. I believe the last time we were on, you actually threw the website out for the local temples around the nation. I'm currently assisting ones that are reaching out to me on social media. So MOLDENBEY. You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram. And then in regards to here in the Dallas area, for the most part, it would be best to reach out to me like in social media if you are in the Dallas Metroplex. Now, if you honestly, because I just don't want to throw my phone number out on public media or even my email address for that matter. However, I will let it be known for the public and for the record that if you go to the website, I am listed there and my contact information is there. So it's not like it's a big secret, but in regards to the actual question of someone asking how to get in contact with me, I don't think that's really what they asking. But in regards to just the temple itself, I can definitely direct them I can direct them in any of the 48 Republic states and as far as Mexico and Bahamas. So
Okay.
and Canada. So outside of that, man, just hit me on social media like everybody do, man.
Okay, not to cut you off. I'm glad you said that though, because people contact notes say there's no temple in their city or in their state, and somebody just said they're in Moore Station, Texas. So I put the link in there. It's mstofa.net. It's a locator on there, and like the Sheik said, you can just click on for his area, and the contact info is on there, right? And can you expound on that though? Because you said the 48 states, and then you said Canada as well. Like, what would somebody do if they're like in Idaho?
Hit me, holler at me, like everybody else do. Hit me on social media, like everybody. I want you to. Like I'm clout chasing, no cap. Like, give me followers. Like, hit me in social media, and I'll guide you to the people that I can get you. Now, if somebody is in Idaho, 9 times I don't know nobody in Idaho. Right off, I can tell you that right now.
Yeah.
Whatever neighboring state is there, man, we got somebody. I mean, there's somebody in Kentucky. There's a lot of Moors in Ohio. I'm on the phone with one.
Wow.
So there's a lot of Moors in Maryland. There's a lot of Moors in the whole DMV area. So if people are trying to ask type of Moors you need to be dealing with, maybe that might help. Maybe because unless you're just stuck somewhere like in Idaho, where there probably is no temple, then you can't tell me too many places that haven't heard about the Moorish Science Temple of America.
Okay, so let's rewind it back, because you were saying like, what kind of Moors should you deal with? That's a good question, because if somebody is somewhere like in Iowa or somewhere like that, and I'm not knocking it, I'm just throwing names out there. Probably the only information they getting is coming from the internet, and so it's no telling what they, where they're at, what they're thinking. So can you bring that back and answer your question?
I mean, to try to answer my own demonstration is based off of I guess for the most part, where we want to come from is we want to have an understanding that anybody that comes into the Moorish Science Temple of America claiming to not know of Prophet Noble Jew Ali, then there's a red flag for you right there. Anybody that wants to come to you and all they can really do is direct you to the internet, that's another flag. Now, what I mean by that is that we have people right now that probably are watching this in Tokyo, in Germany. So to my knowledge, there's no Moorish Science Temple of Americas over there. And I say that because I know there are soldiers who are serving for the United States who are studying Moorish science. There are some Bays and L's who are soldiers, and I salute to them. Peace, what it do on my 5 and 2. But to say that at the same time, this is why someone like Molden Bey is out here and extending my hand in the hand press of unity. And I share gratitude to you for opening up the platform for this. I remember maybe about 10 years ago, Taj Tariq Bey used to encourage ones to find a local temple within their immediate areas, because he encouraged ones to get attached to the temple to become a member of the Moorish Science Temple of America and to get close to a quote unquote Grand Sheik. And I do mean quote unquote, because it is a very underrated and overused term, and people need to stop playing with terms and words that are not to be played with, and it's out of respect. And I'll say it like this. You ever heard of a thing called false flagging? You ever heard that expression before?
Of course.
It's a lot of people out here false flagging. And I'm not afraid to say it. It's a lot of people out here that's not 100 with themselves and with the people around them. You can't be in the Moorish Science Temple of America. And this is no offense to anybody. I'm not saying that your knowledge of self-taught, because one only learn what one teaches self. And what one teaches self, one should teach themselves to be in tune with the concept of, when I don't know, Search out to find someone that does know. Do not solely rely on just your only teachings when you have the opportunity to be taught by someone. Our prophet Noble Jew Ali encourages us this by saying, men need a pattern for these lives, for they do not know to lead, they only know to follow. The problem for the Negroes, the blacks, the colors, the African Americans, the Ethiopians, and the Mexicans, etc. And those terms are all derogatory slave terms. Okay, you call a Cuban, a Dominican, a Puerto Rican, a Mexican, and see what happens to you. And in these days and times, Mexicans don't really just want to be called Mexican because they want you to know that Mexico is a country, and I come from a specific nation inside of this country: Chihuahua, Guadalajara, Montezuma, and any I can't name any other places. So forget Mexico City. These are all basically nation states within inside the country of Mexico. And Colombia is set up the same way. You know, other places, and I go on and on. But I'm saying this because the importance of nationality is for one to understand that you do not want to be subjected to the terms that delude to slavery. So when people are screaming out Black Lives Matter, you're just encouraging slavery. When people are saying that they black and they proud, you just encouraging slavery, because that's why the sister, I can't think of her name, but the title of her book is the new Jim Crow. That book has been banned in federal prisons in this country. They don't want that book in federal prisons. Why not? Why won't you don't want an inmate reading about what the new Jim Crow system is? No, because inmates have time to pick up a pen and write letters. Every inmate doesn't have access to the internet. However, those that do have enough sense to email on a regular basis, and even to get on social media, Facebook, Instagram, all of that. You know what I'm saying? You got federal prisoners that are serving lifetimes that are your friends, and you think that they real people that work at McDonald's. Yeah, he's a federal inmate, but at the same time, he's also studying, he's also aware, he's also letting his people know, he's also sending letters or quote unquote kites back home to the streets, and he's letting it be known. Find the temple, get to the temple, proclaim your nationality, quit all this Negro, black, and colored, quit hating on one another, stop with the black on black crimes, stop running from your brown brothers, and y'all need to start linking up, y'all need to start uniting. So when they start talking like that inside the prison and they start sending that message back out to the streets, it becomes a problem. And this is what we are starting to see right now, because brothers are starting to come home. They're starting to be awoken by the things that are going on around them. People are starting to see things. Now it's just not unarmed black men that are being shot down and killed in the streets by police officers. Now the black women are being shot down, and more than that, our black women are being kidnapped from ages from 14 to 30, and nobody's talking about it. Nobody is understanding the concept that the Negro belongs to the white. The Negro was created in a sense of demonstration to keep you in a sense of oppression. This is why you have the gang life and the gang mentality, because they were established to come together to protect the people in the cities, in the neighborhood, to protect the women, to protect the children. Y'all got it twisted out here. It was never about colors. It was never about this or that. The whole color thing and gang thing came from, as far as I know, the LA County jail system, and that only started because ones didn't like being called this or ones didn't like being called this. But that story is the same in every inner city detention center. There's a gang that runs this side of town, there's a gang that runs this side of town, and you either with them or you with them. But here we go. This the same way with religion, and people need to understand that. Quit calling yourself Black Muslim and the Black Christian, trying to separate yourself in religion. Stop that. God's word is supreme. God's word is divine. God don't come with no separation. God don't teach racism. God don't teach prejudice. The only prejudice God teaches is that you don't bow down to me and bear witness that I'm your one true creator, that there is none other. I'll show you hell on earth. And that's what the Negro is getting. That's what the black is getting. That's what the anybody that wants to hold on to derogatory terms but don't want to pay attention to the realness of what it means. And so the Moorish Science Temple of America, being as old as it is, hasn't changed. The problem is people think they have something new because you can Google search, or you got the internet, or because you think you smarter than the prophet because the prophet said that it was going to be new Moors seeing and knowing. You dodo, you supposed to be seeing and knowing what the prophet left for you. Quit trying to come in here and change things. Keep the rules the same, just like when you at your mama's house and your mama tell you don't sit on a sofa, sit on the plastic. You got to get back to that. But too many people are disrespectful of their parents nowadays, and that's a problem. And you suffering. You get all of that. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't mean to get on a tangent in regards to that, but this is the seriousness of for somebody like me. I don't play with the term of sheik and adept and grand sheik, and I don't play with these terms, man. I ain't out here clout chasing like that, man. I'm your brother, man. Just like Jesus said to his people when he came in the same time, and people need to pay attention. Jesus wasn't coming speaking Christianity like you have on this days and times in earth. That was not Jesus's message. This is why you don't get the lessons of the true teachings of Jesus. So the prophet came with the 18 missing years of Jesus. Yeah. So you have to love Jesus to be able to teach the prophet's lessons anyway. So you can't come over here with an ideology of this quote unquote white Jesus. I mean, you gotta get past that. Because you're never going to see yourself successful if you see yourself as a black man going to church honoring white Jesus. You are never going to see yourself as the power figure you are supposed to be.
Yeah, I never got that. Never got that.
It's a system, man. It was designed to keep you in your place, period. And that's what it's used for. I said it, I believe I said it the last time we were on. Europeans don't practice Christianity like the NBCs. They don't practice Christianity like them, you know, and we have to open our eyes, and most people are right now. A lot of people are opening their eyes. And the beauty about it is, and the truth of it is more people are becoming stronger in what they are seeing, and they're not afraid anymore. But you got to think. The prophet said, if I can just get you to think, you'll free your own self. You can't, you know, I'm highly embarrassed as a as an executive officer of the Moorish Science Temple of America. I might get some heat for this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Mm-hmm. As an officer of the Moorish Science Temple of America, I'm highly embarrassed that we couldn't show the strength and presence of unity with the slain assassination of our dear brother Nipsey Hussle.
Islam, I hear you. Mm-hmm.
Not one picture. Not that I'm looking for it, but not in one picture of any of the true and proper demonstrations for this brother's assassination. I ain't talking about all that crap that you seeing all these other cats for that's doing things for the internet trying to get clicks and likes. No. I'm gonna keep the focus on the center of LA. Nobody else is doing nothing. Everybody is showing honor and love for our brother because that's how his legacy is gonna live. But I'm gonna say what I'm saying is that not one picture was anybody looking like you are positioned right now. You saw the strength and the unity progress over 7 days from where our brother was slain to the last vigil that TMZ is now trying to claim somebody was shot at. They're gonna try their best to disembark on what we're doing, just like when the Black Lives Matter movement was at its peak in 2017, and they said that the brother was down there shooting in Dallas and doing all these things.
Yeah.
And man, they're going to try to defame the fact of what it is. We can't play it down. Mm-hmm. We can't play it down, and I'm not trying to keep talking about the same old thing, right? But and forgive me for the tangent. I don't even know if I
Be
answered your
putting your
question.
proper perspective, brother, because nobody else is gonna do it. TMZ definitely ain't gonna do it.
And that's why I thank you for the platform, bro. You brothers, man, you brothers that are doing it. I mean, you know me. You've pressed my hand. We've seen each other. You've seen me at the podium. You know what I'm saying? You've seen me in Moorish garb at Moorish attire doing convention, and you've seen me like you see me right now. And this is what I'm showing the people right now. Hey, when we come with those fezzes and we come with those button downs and we mean business, and you see brothers such as yourself, and they are bright eyed and they're looking and they're examining and they've exposed and they see, like a lot of the people that's online right now, you have to understand when the prophet said you have to be upright, independent, and fearless. That don't mean just pulling your camera out and walking around talking about you traveling and debating with a policy holder officer on the side of the road talking about you in a vessel and you traveling. Man, you're gonna get lumped upside your head if you lucky. The prophet said be a law-abiding citizen. Law-abiding citizens have whatever is required. Your license matches the state that you are in. It matches the vehicle license plate that is registered to the state that you are in. Hey, you want to be a private citizen? You have to go through the demonstrations of being a private citizen.
Yeah.
The states have that for you. But on your license tag from the state of Texas, case in point, I myself am pushing on that for my own self to be a private citizen of the state of Texas. Takes a little time, mostly monetary, and actually knowing the right doors to knock on. It's not open to the public. How about that? Right? However, it's a process that is there. If you go back and you listen to the catalog that brother Nipsey Hussle left for us, I believe Daylight said it best. The MC. I don't even want to dub him as the battle rapper anymore, but the MC Daylight. He said it best. He said Nipsey Hussle left a Bible, and that's true. These brothers have left written, documented proof. If we're not writing, if we're not leaving, how are people going to know that we were here? You know? And it's just what the prophet did for us. The prophet authored and penned specifically in the editorials of the newspapers that could be demonstrated on a regular basis. And then the prophet put a pamphlet together for us to learn lessons. Those were lessons that are to be taught worldwide. Our franchise looks bad. Going back to what I was saying, and I'm gonna shut up for a minute and let you ask at least one question. But our franchise looks bad. It says McDonald's on the front, but I promise you, when people walk out, you see Wendy's bags, Hardee's, you see KFC bags, and you like, wait. Y'all walking into McDonald's, but y'all coming out with different food. Like, yeah, man, they got everything in there. No, McDonald's don't. They do not. And if you're a smart corporation where you have case in point, do you ever see, you might see it a couple of places, not often, but how often do you see, so let me pose it like this. How often do you see McDonald's in the food court of a mall?
Yeah. Nah, you don't see that often.
Why not?
Not in this country. Because the way, I'm gonna answer that real quick. Okay, because I used to live in Brazil. I lived there for 5 years. You'll see it there, but then you won't see it on every street block.
Stop.
They flipped it.
Stop. Now I'm going to flip it back for you. Now over here, you see it on every street corner, but not inside the mall.
Right.
You know what that is?
What's that?
That's public and private business, man.
Word. Yeah.
That shopping mall is private, man. That had to be built. And they had to go out and search for corporations. Remember, nations do business with other nations just like corporations do business with other corporations. Yeah. McDonald's say, hey, man, our dollar is good out here on the street. We compete with these boys over here on the street. You know what I mean? We're not worried about your mall money. Your mall money is slow money compared to what we getting on this side. We're going to get public money. What we do in the private, we do different. A mall is private money. So that's why you might see a Chick-fil-A in a mall. Why? Because Chick-fil-A can't really compete with the big boys. Chick-fil-A made their own lane. Okay? Chick-fil-A separated themselves from any other chicken fast food demonstration. And I'm not trying to talk about fast food on here and make people hungry. I don't eat fast food. So first of all, don't try to come at me like that. I don't even eat any of this that I'm talking about. But what I'm trying to give people a demonstration is on how business works in a public and private scheme and how it works for the same as a person or being. All right. So this is what our dear brother Nipsey Hussle was showing us. Public and private. We need to pay attention to it. You have to own your own. The prophet explained this to us. He said you must regain your lost estate. That means you have to own yours. You have to own yours before you can even come over here and try to talk about you're going to do something for the prophet's demonstration. That's why most of them knuckleheads are serving other food under the McDonald's banner.
Yeah.
But I can't go after him like Johnny Cochran did, because Johnny Cochran was a hired attorney. Johnny Cochran was a hired attorney that built his own law firm, but attorneys are hired people. They're hired people. So nobody's looking to hire a Molden Bey to go after ones that are scheming them, busting them over the head for fraudulent paperwork that's jamming up the courts, that's causing people to think that the Moorish Science Temple of America is a black sovereign movement. Get out of here, man. That has nothing to do with us. Don't come at us with your COINTELPRO tactics. See, Molden Bey is out here putting his face out there just because of that, because we don't fall under that. And all you people that's trying to play this whole sovereignty rule, and I'm gonna go and say this. I'm gonna get in my Kodak zone for a hot minute, then I'm gonna shut up. All you people that's hitting my line talking about you got this paperwork and that paperwork and you want me to sign it and put seals on it and stamp off, get out of here. I ain't got time for you. I don't move like that. The Moorish Science Temple of America is hey man, we the Frank White of this, man. We the Frank Lucas, I mean. You hear me? We got pure and uncut, man. There's no need to change what the prophet left, man. Don't come over here watering down our product. Don't do that. And that's what's happening out there. And I can't help the people that's falling for it, man. I can't help the people that is getting duped for it, because you get on the internet and you go, yeah, this is it. This is what the black man need. And man, the prophet came for us. And then you find somebody and he tell you, yeah, man, I got it, man, for you, man. $300, $3,000, $1,500. Send me this and send me that. And then when you run into old rusty, scruffy me, and I'm like, hey, in the state of Texas, man, they gonna tell you, you can't do that. One, because I went to the state of Texas, not to try to do what you was doing, to block what you trying to do, what you was doing, right? Why? To protect me, to protect my progeny. I'm an executive officer of the Prophet's Temple, man. Yeah, I know who down there in Houston. And
Islam.
What? Y'all know we out here in Dallas. But you also know that we run the whole state. Why? Because we the only one that sit with the Prophet's grand body, what he left, official, original, no damage, no water down, no dilute. Ain't no dilute. And it's no cap. We're not fronting. I'm not saying no honors to anybody that came up under C. Kirkman Bey, man, because C. Kirkman Bey deserves high honors at every given time. And that's why I tell people, don't come at me trying to talk Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated. Don't come at me trying to say that we not incorporated. Get out of here. I don't want to hear that. Those were court terms that had to be used at the time because of what was going on between the court battles. That's on the record for sure. C. Kirkman Bey is one of the main reasons that the Moorish Science Temple of America is still viable in so many certain areas of the land today. And I say that with full confidence because he was boots to the ground when the Prophet transitioned. The Prophet transitioned, and then as well as Emily L. When those two brothers transitioned, it was a lot going on. It looked just like it looked in 2019. And if it wasn't for brothers like C. Kirkman Bey, or scratch that, if it wasn't for the brother C. Kirkman Bey and his desire, he had a desire. He had a desire. I don't know if it was pure, but he had a desire. You know what I'm saying? And because of that desire, he kept pushing. And that's what you're doing, more. you have a desire to bring it out to the masses and to the people and let the people know, you know, and I salute you for that. You know what I mean? So
Somebody said something in the group I wanted to address, and correct me if I'm wrong, right? Somebody just asked, so are you saying the people aren't sovereign now? Now, what you had said earlier, basically, you know, to me sounds like we need to have our own. We need to have our own land, you know, own the land, have our own town, you know, own law enforcement versus being out here arguing right to travel and all these things. It's kind of petty, you know. That's not even really addressing the issue or going about anything.
Let's go at it. Yeah, I'm gonna say people are not sovereign. The reason I say that people are not sovereign is because you come from a sovereign creator. Yes, we are gods on earth. We are. I give you that hands down. You could give me the whole Nephilim bloodline and all of that. I'm with you. I'll rock with you. I'm down with that. But the term itself does not produce anything of benefit in the eyes of the law. Sovereignty, yes, from birth you have that at birth. You do. But you also lose that at birth too, because of the way the system is established. Right? So what I'm saying is this. When you use these terms sovereign and being a sovereign citizen, I do agree with some of those demonstrations only because they might be right and exact with the law. Meaning, if you're following the Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, or if you're following the United Nations in regards to laws that they're bringing about, then I agree. I agree. But, and I thank you, Brother Bey, because that's exactly what I was about to say. Me, I'm talking about me, Molden Bey. Prophet Noble Drew Ali, who is the founder, not no magistrate of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The prophet is the founder. And the term magistrate is only found in the lessons that the prophet brought, where it says subject and magistrate, and the circle 7 is a slang term for the proper term of the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, right? I had to walk away so I can catch my breath real quick, so I wasn't trying to be rude. But nowhere on this book, on this pamphlet, is the term circle 7. So anybody that hears the term or has heard the term, it's a slang term. Nowhere in this book. Nowhere. It doesn't even say it on this symbol. And anybody who has heard this symbol referred to it is somebody that has learned a so-called lesson. Okay? Now I'm going to keep it real. Now, when the prophet speaks about in this pamphlet, and he speaks about subject and magistrate. Let me turn to it right now. See, I don't play with the prophet's lessons. All that other stuff that gets you away from the prophet is where you get into trouble. Right here. It's chapter 39, if I'm not mistaken. I hope the people can see it. Can you see that?
Yeah, we can see it.
What does it say?
Hold up, put it back a little bit.
What does that say?
Back a little bit more. Okay, we good.
It says magistrate and subject.
Yeah.
How am I double talking when I'm saying that God Allah is the only sovereign being that runs this universe? And if we are knowing ourselves from in this demonstration where it says, know yourself and your Father God Allah. So when you know yourself and your Father God Allah, yeah, in your private, and you want to say, I'm sovereign because of the protection that I know that God has for me by way of what the prophet left for me, cool. But you get out in the public and your skin is this color, talking about you a sovereign citizen, man, you're not a Moorish American. Your sovereignty lies in the term of Moorish American. Because you have a nationality, like a Italian American, Russian American, Cuban American. You have 2 flags to demonstrate. There is no flag for a sovereign citizen. That's why you losing and you blocking the courts with that. Yeah, you might win in Virginia. You might win up in Delaware. For the moment, we're in the South. There's different rules in the South that are in the North. The North is where the Southern slaves were running for freedom. So what makes you think that for whatever purpose that works? It does not work. The Black Lives Matter movement was converted to a sovereign movement, which had people caught up. So what is it? What is it that we're saying, right? A nation. Oh my gosh.
And the courts are also retooling, like with all those people coming in there with the paperwork and the different stuff. It's not the same thing. Isn't going to work. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't do the same thing because they're getting so many people trying to do it. It's not the same. Like when the brothers put the videos out, the Moors in Court videos, you know, you have other people trying to do those demonstrations and it is not working out for them, you know, and it may be because they're not astute in the law, but also because they're dealing with it.
But let me say this too. Let me say this too. Shout out to my moms for passing through eating cake. But let me say this too. Just because you read a Black's Law Dictionary don't mean you're an attorney. So let's stop playing ourselves. What this book means is that you can look at it and see what the term means applying to law. You should have this. You should be studying like this. You should be studying with these two. I recommend that. But I also let me give you another tool that I use too. See this? It says jurisprudence, and then at the bottom it says legal philosophy. Philosophy comes from a theory. Okay, so if your theory is based off of law, then they give you a way that you conduct law, and it's called jurisprudence. So I'm aware of your whole sovereign demonstration. And I read it and I got the lessons out of here first. So I paid attention to what our prophet left for us, who is the founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Okay? What do you mean? What do you mean read it? Like, come on, fam. This ain't new. Right? And I get heated like that because I'm a real deal Moorish American that sits in the temple. I sit in there on those 2 meetings from temple to temple around the state and around the country. And I've done it. I don't enjoy doing it because I don't get the chance to sit there and be a beginner or be a student in what the prophet has. So I'm sitting constantly going through these books. Like, let me come back to this. Let me read something. And this is where people are given the sovereign demonstration. But in this Black's Law Dictionary, the term private means relating or belonging to an individual as opposed to the public or the government of a company not having shares that are freely available on an open market. That's a Black's Law Dictionary, right? Then you go to it and you look up the term public. They give you a definition for the adjective of it, which means it's going to describe, and then for the noun, which means it's a thing. So now it's giving you the lingo and the jargon so that you can understand where they're going to play with you at. Are they going to describe your public behavior, or are they going to use your public behavior as a subject matter? Public is relating or belonging to an entire community. The prophet brought us an entire nation state, and the community comes out of the nation state. So that's in the public. So that's why in the public, you see the Moorish Science Temple of America. But what do you see in private? What do you see in private that regulates the Moorish Science Temple of America? And I'm going to pose that question right now. Anybody know?
Grand Council?
Nope. Well, the Grand Council sits in a certain part.
But the Moorish Divine and National Movement?
There you go. That's private.
But hold up, some of y'all supposed to know this too, man. Y'all supposed to be typing this in the chat. But okay, go back to that. Go ahead.
Go back to that. All right. So I'm making my plea for where they were trying to say that I was double talking. I'm trying to give you the example of what it means to be public and private. And now you go back and you read the demonstration where the prophet was talking about for subject and magistrate, and then maybe you have a better idea in regards to how it works and how the lessons work. This is something that actually does have to be taught, and a lot of time has to be shown. I mean, I'm assuming it says all the modern nation states are operating as corporate and have no authority over the indigenous people unless the people contract with these entities. True.
That's like he's kind of talking about the UCC, like where if you participating in commerce, then the federal can come in and start interacting.
I mean, but that's the role of UCCs. UCCs is there to regulate commerce in a uniform manner. That's what it's there for. But that's the private protection of doing business in the corporate manner. Those are corporations that's sitting on the shelf at Walmart. Those aren't just canned goods. Those are corporations. Forgive me for not being able to turn directly because I'm looking at the chat on the computer and I'm trying to look here. All right, magistrate and subject. Okay. In the demonstration of magistrate and subject, I'm gonna just hop to the 11th verse where it says, "He planteth new colonies, he buildeth strong ships, he openeth rivers for convenience, he formeth harbors for safety, his people abound in riches, and the strength of his kingdom increaseth." Okay? We kind of saw all those things, and I'm gonna still harp on our brother Nipsey Hussle. We saw that brother do all of those things. And I'm using him as a modern example because that's the best example that I can use that's brought a message that is similar to what was found in, like the brother is saying, the nation state. The deed or the cops, that's a fairly decent question. And to be quite honest with you, there's not enough law enforcement that have come into the nation state because, for lack of a better word, because of all the disharmony and disarray of what the Moorish Science Temple looks like, it's not appealing. We're not getting attorneys that's coming to the temple to proclaim their nationality. We're not getting law enforcement and sheriff to come and proclaiming their nationality. That's why I want to get out here and I want us to have a uniform method of how we look. This is gonna be the first book that we drop. Right?
Man, that is needed. I was just about to get at you on the side about that.
Have y'all seen this?
No.
Right, this is the old copy. This is not what the people will see. But you see the bottom right here, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see that bottom part?
Yes.
Now, it's for a member. It's an orientation, just like when you go to a job. Unless you're a skill set trade worker, you just don't go. You just don't go to a job and you don't have a probationary period. Then you don't go to a job where they don't properly train you to make sure that you know where to park, know where the break room is, how to clock in, all that stuff, right? And that takes time.
Yeah.
A lot of people are just trying to finesse people out they money, out they bread. That's me. That's how I look at it. But if we could get ourselves in order, that's why the book is there. I know ones have seen the book and they're gonna say that's an old book. Yeah, it was an old book that I held up. But the one that's gonna come out in public won't be old. You know? I mean, I just get that demonstration, man, because we have to look at, you know, where we currently are right now in these days and times, man. It's a lot of confusion.
Yeah, now that right there is necessary. You know, I mean, like it's this too much going on, and you know nobody knows what to do. Even some of the people that's in the temple, you know. So yeah, that's something that needs to be done, you know, ASAP.
Right. Well, like even in the chat where they quote instruction 1, that's good. And once you have seated yourself and raised to sovereign power, go back and plant new colonies, and that's where the problem is coming to play. Nobody's planting any new colonies with all the fleecing that they doing to the people.
Yeah.
Nobody's building strong ships, opening rivers for convenience. Look here, man, I'm not here to argue with a knowledgeable Moor. I don't have time for all of that. And I'm not here to say that, you know, it's bad if you don't have your L or your Bay on your paycheck, driver's license, social security card, or your rent box. I'm not here to front on you like that. I'm just here to let you know that it's real out here for me, because that's how my life is. So I've stood and did the work by imitating and stepping in the footsteps of the prophet, which most people are afraid to do. They're afraid.
Islam.
They're afraid. The first question I get from elders, well, hey, is it going to hurt my retirement benefits? Hey, is it going to hurt my veteran benefits? That's the talk of a scary person. And I have to tell them with all due respect, no, it's not.
Well, you know, too, not to cut you off, but you know, too, they don't know what's what, because they're hearing so much out here. You know, you have people who's, you know, encouraging people to do the, you know, some of the stuff, you know, squatting in homes and stuff like that. So they don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like it's got to be cleaned up. And so for the people who's out there, you know, I'm glad, you know, it's not a lot of crazy talking here, you know, so I would put the chat up, you know, so that others can see that, you know, how foolish it is. But I'm just saying that to say that, like, you know, people don't know. Like you were saying before, you can't get like people who are successful, professional, you know, really to come in, because they looking at it like, nah, you know. And then your people who are attorneys, like you're saying, people who own companies and stuff like that, they're looking at it like, you know, what's going on, man? Because, you know, this is the stuff you see on the news. You see some people who got locked up for doing something they had really no business out there doing. And then you had the people in here trying to clown it. You know, like if you're not with that, something's wrong with you, right?
Well, and then what works for you does not mean it's going to work for me. But the thing about what our prophet Noble Jew Ali left does work for everybody. And I'll share this. And it might be somebody in the chat that may be able to voice this. And I said it again, and I'm going to say it again. I'm not trying to start nothing. I'm just speaking the truth for what I know it is. You want to see, and when I say this, that don't mean run over there to them. But you want to see what the Moorish Science Temple of America should look like, then look at the Nation of Islam. Because that is the divine plan of the ages that the prophet set foot. Guaranteed, facts, 100 proof. If you spend some time in Chicago and in Detroit in their microfiche rooms, you will find enough footage from the 30s and probably back as far as 25 that will show you in picture form that that's what the Moorish Science Temple of America used to resemble. Okay, and I'll give it to you. I'm gonna throw some financial jewels at you, right, on making one's conditions better. How many people have ever stopped and bought a bottle of water from a brother selling bottles of water out of cooler on the side of the road? right? Now think about the concept of if that brother is financing a dream off those bottles of water and all he has to do is stand on a corner or wherever for a certain amount of time every day, for a certain amount of days, for a certain amount of weeks, do you know that we can remove a lot of the infrastructures that hold us back?
Islam.
The Moorish Science Temple of America is not traditional because none of the traditions that we follow, such as driver's license, social security cards, WIC, CCMS, social security benefits, Medicare, Medicaid, disability benefits, these things did not exist during the times of the Prophet. And instead of us talking about how we can be sovereign and how we can enforce and save the nation with a sovereign power, show me how you can feed the children. Show me how you can house the elderly. Show me how you can get you and your family out of debt. Because that's what the Prophet did for us. But most people are not following the system or the plan. They want to do their own thing. They want to tell you that this is a new era of time and I know better than the Prophet. Get away from them. Seriously. And I'm saying that because tradition causes the NBCs to be lazy.
Islam.
You know, you have to understand that. I mean, I don't see how a person can be confident trying to demonstrate law with a policy officer who started as a slave catcher. Now, it's different if you live in a township where you actually know the trooper that's pulling you over. Y'all go to church, y'all went to school together, whatever, you know.
Yeah, like you can't do that where I'm at.
I don't get it. Like, if let me say it like this. Now, hold on. Let me step back. Let me end the squabble. If you following Noble New Ami, then go ahead with your whole right to travel demonstration. If you following Noble Jew Ali said you ought to be law-abiding citizens and to be recognized within the states, governments with which you live. Come on, fam. Come on. In 2019, that's the legacy you want to live, that you was arguing with somebody on the side of the road over your right to travel. Listen, man, everybody know that driving is a privilege. Most people learn to drive without a driver's license anyway. Everybody knows this. Even the trooper that probably is pulling you over learned to drive a vehicle without a driver's license. But who doesn't want a driver's license? And who doesn't want to proclaim their nationality? On my picture, my feds is on it and my signature's got Bay on it, so they know who I am. What's the deal? That's how my social security card looks. That's how my pay stub looks. That's how my mail looks when it comes to my house. What's the problem, man? Of following my Prophet? Why? Huh? What the problem? Man, it's a whole lot of stuff not lawful. Insurance is not lawful. Beating your girl is not lawful. Cheating on your girl is not lawful. Come on, fam. Really? Really? Come on, man. Stop playing. The Prophet left. He said his people is upright, independent, and fearless, and they law-abiding citizens. Show me one sovereign citizen that's on the side of the road with that whole demonstration. One sovereign citizen that looked this color, not this color, because y'all not winning.
Nope.
Y'all not winning. Them little videos on YouTube, they old. Ain't no new ones. Ain't no new ones. Because your whole sovereign talk blocked up the blocked up the courts, and they said the next one coming in, lock them up. Don't even let them talk. Lock them up. Like I said, Come on down here to Texas and try it. I would love to go and watch the theater, because that's what court is in this book, is theater. So I would love to see you try it. I sure would. Right? Now, no, we're not Muslim. We're Muslims. Muslims come from the east in Arabia. Muslims come from the west, Northwest Africa, to be exact.
Islam.
We're not Muslims. We're a Muslim. We're not Arabians. See, that's been the problem for so long, over 400 years of oppression. We kept thinking that it was just a blonde-haired, blue-eyed European. It was also a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Arabian, too, that held you in bondage.
Islam.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, out of sight, out of mind. I'm with you on the getting the money up. Holler at me. You could get me on Instagram, and we could talk about how to get the money up. But we got to know how to use the money. We just don't get the money up. I mean, again, we got to get the equity. You know, we got to get the equity. The equity is where we need. We need business lines of credit so we can do business with these nations. That's what we need. We need to be encouraging court. Now, here's where I use it now. Now, in social media, because they have such a following, yeah, I'm not mad at the black business startup. Muslim and Muslim does not mean the same thing at all. The Muslims of the West were not the Muslims of the East. A Muslim translates to one that follows the way of Allah. Muslim demonstrates the way of Allah. There's your difference right there. I'm not on Facebook.
Islam.
But I am on Twitter. And you can get with Moors in America if you need to reach out to me, or you can go to the website. I think my email.
To that brother.
To the brother. One more time. Same root letters, yes, but not the same etymology of the word. Mo comes from Moab. Mu comes from Muhammad. I taught for 20 years, man, in a public school system, religious school and private school sectors.
Islam. To the brother who said, you know, a lot of Moors that got locked up doing that right to travel mess. Brother, they weren't following the prophet, just like you just said. That's it, point blank. You know, it's really that simple. You know, and it's laid out there for you. And you know, it's about getting up out of economic slavery, not sitting over here, you know, fighting over these meaningless things. Okay, it's not even organized, man. It's unorganized. And, you know, for the longest, that's been the loudest voice maybe for the last few years. OK, and we got to clean that up. But I'm just letting you know, brother, that they're not following the prophet. I don't care if they put Prophet Noble Drew Ali up every now and then, you know, like they're trying to get some clout off that or something. But they're not following them. And it's plain to see.
They not. Hold on. Yes, Moors can join the military. But hold on, brother Sadiq L. Hopefully you didn't leave. Hold on. I'm about to break it down for you, brother. When you go back again, you know, I mean, I see you dealing with the science. You know what I'm saying? And Imam Warifdeen Muhammad told us about this, because Imam Warifdeen Muhammad, he left from his father in the Nation of Islam, right? But you go to the bottom, I believe that's page 3. In the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, page 3. And it says at the bottom, it says, these are the Moabites, Hamathites, Canaanites who were driven out of the land of Canaan by Joshua and received permission from the pharaohs of Egypt to settle in that portion of Egypt. In later years, they formed themselves kingdoms. These kingdoms are called this day Morocco, Algiers, Tunis, Tripoli, etc. Look on the map, man, and see where that is. Now, I admit, you know what I'm saying, when you're dealing with the concept of right over left and us facing the east, you got to think about that science that was gotten from us. There's always a literal and a figurative sense, and history is going to always be deemed to repeat itself, right? So, I mean, you know, man, my thing is that this, man, we can get into a whole legal jargon of back and forth with each other, or we can unite and come together for one common cause, and we can see ourselves work. So how about that? How about instead of being mad at me for something simple like we talking about right now in this chat, how about we come together? How about that? How about we come together and just say we're gonna follow these lessons right here. We ain't gonna follow nobody else's lessons. We can all read, right? I ain't got no problem reading with y'all or not even reading alone. How about that? And I mean, I let the E of energy go. So I removed the ego. This is out of love. Sometimes passion comes off as overexcitement, but it's out of love. Just because my mama whooped me growing up don't mean she didn't love me. She did it for me for whatever. And just because there's nobody that's putting themselves in a position to whoop brothers and tell brothers, man, you know you're not right. I'm not gonna call nobody out. I'm gonna wait till they reach out to me. They know who they are. I know they capping. I know they looking, because I've been in here for too long. I've been doing this for too long. You can Google me. I'm not on here to be braggadocious or bodacious like I've done nothing great, because I haven't. I didn't write no book. I ain't put nothing together that needed to be done, because the prophet did it all. The hardest thing to do is to get people to stop being stiff-necked and stubborn and learn to come together. That's why the prophet said we got to learn to love instead of hate. But it's obvious. It's obvious. It's obvious when two Moors can't even agree on one thing, but supposedly they supposed to be Moorish Americans.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Right?
Somebody asked in the chat, what about the children? Do we have any teachings or education set up for them? Lesson.
I mean, that's been a thing of mine. I do focus on that in the temple. I don't have as many children in the temple that we've had like we used to have. Most of them have left and went to college or moved away. I teach more science in the classroom, believe it or not. So we have to change the traditionalism. I encourage ones to homeschool. When you homeschooling your child, you have the right to teach your child anything you want. I know parents that homeschool their children, and this was part of their reading curriculum. They got their vocabulary words out of here. They read out of here. They gave demonstrations out of here, which I love, because those were those were the most participating members in the temple. Were those children?
Islam too. Somebody said something in the chat I wanted to address, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the brother was saying something about the temple didn't help by withholding the nationalization information. And I just wanted to say, like, you know, brother, if you're not vested in it, you're not putting in work, you're not a part of it, you know, you're not invested in it, you don't deserve all the information. I mean, people want to just get it all because it's all online, right? So nobody's withholding anything. Am I wrong?
Not at all. And now I'm gonna say that's where we're supposed to be, brother Sadiq, because you know I'm gonna share this too. I'm gonna put myself out there one more time, brother Sadiq. You have too many Moorish Americans that don't want to practice Islamism. You have too many Moorish Americans that still eat pork. So it's kind of hard. Now, praise be to Allah that you follow the Sunnah of Muhammad the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I myself happen to follow a different path, but that's not to say that we're not still brothers. I don't follow the Sunnah. Research by Fall or Ibrahim Fall or Tuba, Senegal, brother. Research West African Muslims, brother. Right? And then I saw somebody ask a question about law and combating anti-law. The best thing that I would say do is find you a pocket size Black's Law Dictionary. You can make it with this one. And you need to pay attention. You know, hey, if you get a ticket from an officer, take that ticket and look at those terms that's on that ticket and look it up. That's the best way to really get an idea of what they're doing to us. Think about what a policy officer does. He really is judge, jury, and attorney when he issues that ticket. When he writes that book, he has become judge, jury, and attorney. And the only times most often that those traffic demonstrations are thrown out, if it's just straight traffic, meaning there's nothing else, he wasn't under the influence, there wasn't guns or drugs or any of that, there wasn't an accident, any of that. He ran a red light or he was speeding, whatever, right? So, you know, with that being said, I encourage us to really look at the purity of al-Islam. Hey, don't get me wrong. I know all my prayers. I know all my prayer positions. I don't know the entire Quran of Mecca or Medina in full. I wish that I was Hafiz. I do. That is still a desire of mine. And yes, I'm going to make Hajj, right? But understand that Noble Jew Ali, our prophet, came for us. He came for us in our times. I believe it's Surah 2 in Al Imran, since we want to go there, where it actually, let me see if I had that right quick. If I could throw that out there, man. But Islam, brother T. Parker L. Sheikh Amadou Bamba, right? And we bear witness. In Surah 3 or chapter 3, ayat 103, it says, and hold fast all together by the rope which Allah stretches out for you, and be not divided among yourselves, and remember with gratitude Allah's favor on you. For ye were enemies, and he joined your hearts in love, so that by his grace ye became brethren. And ye were on the brink of the pit of fire, and he saved you from it. Thus doth Allah make his signs clear to you, that ye may be guided. Our sign came January 8th, 1886 in the state of North Carolina, January 1st. That's our sign.
Islam.
Now, I had to get that same break away from the traditionalism of what I was raised on. Man, I was raised Christian. I used to kind of love going to church. I'm not going to front on it. But when I got into a mindset of starting to think for myself, then my demonstration was I need to find what truth is for me. What's going to get me closer to my creator? So I drew to Islam. I drew to Islam by my introduction to Muhammad the Prophet, just like anybody who says that Brother Sadiq L, I wish we were close because I could show you all of that. No, I have no problem.
101s where it tells you what Islamism is.
I mean, I could show you all of that, bro. Where are you at? And I'll send somebody to show you. Where you at? I'll send somebody to show you. I'll make sure you get shown. All right. Back to what I was saying, bro. I didn't have no problem going down the sajda and hitting my head over until I realized the Prophet gave us tools to where it says sometimes you got to take the hammer and drive home the truth. So sajda, 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 sajda. Yeah, that's what that is 5 times a day, every day. You just driving home the truth that Islam is for you. But think about it. If you study the story of the Muadhin that was chosen by the Prophet, Bilal, you might have a different understanding of Islam, brother. Bilal, the Hebrew from West Africa, who was a slave that had a rock placed on him by the Arabian, who Muhammad sent his son to go and get and say that he shows more faith in Allah and the oneness of mankind than any other Arabian on this land, that Hebrew Muslim? Are you serious, fam? Come on, man. I'm not your imam. I'm not your imam. All right. And what I don't like is when people tell me what I can't and what I don't, because I've studied, man. I won't put myself out there without knowing. I'm like a detective with this, man. I don't ask no question. I don't know the truth, brother. You have the prophet's lessons, right? And you said, I can't show me where he said those things. What things? The prophet, I didn't say that the prophet said them. What I'm saying to you is what I've studied on my own, from even whether I knew before I came into the Moorish Science Temple of America, or after, or during, or even sitting here right now. All I'm saying to you is this. I got no problem with being called a Muslim until I correct a Muslim for selling pork in my neighborhood to my people, or attempting to flirt with my sisters, and I come at him with the Quran, and I come at him with the teachings that was blessed by somebody who was taught by me, who looks like me, and who helps me to understand myself. So yeah, I do correct Arabian Muslims all the time when they in our neighborhood doing wrong and being haram and being wijam and being foul and being unlawful in our neighborhood and treating our people wrong. And I stand up as an upright, independent, fearless Hebrew Muslim. What's wrong with you, bro? I practice this. I live this. I do this every day. So when I say to you that a Muslim is one that is the will of Allah, it comes from not just the hadith of the Prophet Muhammad, because Muhammad came from the Arabians. Every prophet has hadith because people walked with them, brother. Even in the times of Muhammad the Prophet, even the times of Muhammad the Prophet, even when he transitioned, you had breaks. You had breaks then. You had people that said that this person should have been the next one in charge. And then this person said they should have been in charge. And then when they couldn't get along, what do? They all went separate ways. The same thing like when the prophet, noble, Drew Ali, transitioned, and they looked around and they said, what do? Well, we want to do this, and we want to do this, and we want to do this. And since y'all can't do that, y'all can get up out of here. And they went separate ways. What you and I are arguing on needs to be argued on, because those are the things that's going to bring us back together, and that's going to have us looked at in the Islamic community as a true Jamaat, as a true Ummah. Right now, we're looked at a laughing stock. I didn't say anything was wrong with you. Personally, I'm looking at the questions that you have. And what I'm trying to show to you, not tell you or give to you, but show to you from experience, which is the best teacher. Brother, matter of fact, why you think when he left Egypt and he came back from Hajj, he got rid of Malcolm X and he took on the term Malik al-Shabazz and he put El-Hajj in front? Then, why do you think they never want to honor that name? They keep calling him Malcolm X, Malcolm X, Malcolm X, Malcolm X. But his name was changed and proclaimed like his nationality, which he had found out when he traveled outside this land. Yeah, the prophet is law. Yeah, the prophet is law. Right. Hey, all I'm saying, my Lord, is this, is that Muhammad ain't my savior. And I'm not saying that he's not honored, because he is, because if not for Muhammad, I wouldn't have the discipline to understand, to listen to our prophet, noble Drew Ali. I'm not saying that Jesus wasn't honored or loved, because Jesus is honored and loved because his message was nothing but love. The same with John, the same with Idris, the same with Solomon, the same with Shuaib. We can go on and on about great prophets and messengers, and the same with Nipsey Hussle, because he came with the same message. Build up your money, own your own, get your equity, invest in yourself, stand behind your market, and really get with it. Right?
Islam.
So I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Because he went on Hajj don't mean you change your nationality, brother. You know how many brothers I know that have been on Hajj? They come back with the same term. Malcolm came back with his eyes wide open because he was exposed to the concept that what he was told about blonde-haired, blue-eyed white devils existed in the skin tones of men that he was breaking bread with. Hollywood gave us that simple antidote.
Yeah.
I mean, so there is no argument. There has to be a debate about why we stand on the principles and practices of Islamism, that old time religion. Now, if the prophet said that being a black Muslim was the old time religion, then I would follow it. The prophet spoke about Mohammedans and the faith of the Mohammedans. Yes, he did put we derive our power and authority, and we to extend the learning of the great prophet Ali. So I'm only debating with you on the construct, brother, because I want to make Ramadan with you. I want to make Hajj with you. That's it. I want to sit in the temple with you and build with you. But I don't want to feel that we have to look at no Arabian to give us no head nod to tell us what we doing is right. Because ain't no Arabian can tell me what I'm doing is right for my people.
Yep. Islam.
You don't want me to say that Muhammad was black? I apologize. Muhammad wasn't black. You right. I apologize. Muhammad didn't have a face according to the pictures, so we don't even know what color he is. You are right and exact. But praise Allah for Noble Ali that we do know what he looked like, because that helps me sleep at night. You know? So praise Allah.
Islam. On that note, I think we need to break, but you know, it's important that people hear this, clear up some of the confusion going on out there. Give thanks to you for coming on here. We appreciate you. Appreciate your time. Gonna go ahead and run this back in 2 weeks. You say, right? We're gonna do Moorish Mondays twice a month.
Hey, brother Sadiq L, man, if you're on social media, man, holler at me, bro. I would love to connect with you. And gratitude for you again, man, for just opening up the window, man. These are topics that have to be brought out. And yeah, there does need to be some policing in regards to what it is that's going on, because it's for the babies, it's for the children. And if we don't do this now, man, the prophet said you'll mess around and not even know I was here.
Islam. So that's necessary. I mean, you see the fruit of Islam. We need to clean things up. And so the people out there who just want to be just all over the place, you don't want any law, you don't want any order, any of that. You're gonna have to either get in line or you're gonna get dealt with. You know, either way, because this is how it's going. This is people that are on this level right now. They getting dealt with the policy officers, and for us to actually be running things and to doing how we're supposed to, we have to like the Sheik said, we have to clean this stuff up. Okay, so we're gonna have to pick it up. People are gonna have to step it up and start being noble for real. I want to thank you again for coming on here. The brother is on Instagram at moldenbay.com. At Molden Bey on Instagram. And,
hey, get out of my head, bro. The website is coming.
Yeah.
Those are the things. Those are the things. So invest in yourselves. And man, I wish all of y'all was somewhere close to where I could get to y'all, man, because y'all got me hyped. Hey, let me give you my email though. I'll do that. It's 2 M's. Hey, you got my email? If you got my email, just throw it in the chat
real quick. But yeah, he said MMOLDEN period Bay. All right.
Yeah. Quincy Thomas, where in Texas are you, man? I promise you that name looked familiar, bro. But whatever, man. Hey, gratitude to all of y'all. Peace and love. Hey, travel in pairs, 3s and 5s, man. Don't travel these streets alone. Hey, and do me the man. Hey, don't be arguing with them policy officers on there, man. Even if you have a demonstration. Now, let me end with this. if you are in a comfortable place and someone is with you and you think that you might be able to get away with a small, brief demonstration, do your thing. Stand on your square. Do not be mistreated at no cost. But I want y'all to come home. So when they burp and chirp you, pull over. Be in compliance. Keep your hands where they can see them. Don't nobody move. Sisters, don't even flex on them. I don't even care if your king is with you. Just keep it mad humble. They are gunning for us, literally and figuratively. Be smart, man. The prophet left these lessons. The prophet told us to travels in 3s and 5s and to travels in pairs, man. So be safe, man. Inshallah, man. All of y'all will come back through in like 2 weeks, man, and we can get it. Peace and love on the 5 and 2.
All right, peace, man. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming on. Everybody, make sure you click share. All right, and we're gonna do this again in 2 weeks. All right, peace to everybody out there. Make sure you subscribe to the page too. Islam.
Islam.